Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and today we're going to go into r/Neckbeard stories. Right now, while I'm still job hunting, I am at home, so I got a little bit more free time, so we're going to be doing some extra episodes this week. Again, anything you can do to support the channel, whether that be joining as a channel member, joining the Patreon, buying a mini, or just sharing the video around and subscribing if you haven't already, everything helps. So, without further ado, let's get into those stories about these fedora-tipping, katana-wielding gentle sirs. Our first story today comes from user Flock and is entitled "To the A-Hole in the Spokane ER." Tuesday, I was in the ER, and this guy was the rudest person I've met in a long time. Other people were shocked at this guy's behavior to the girl he was there for. This girl came in from an ambulance, was in constant pain. She would whimper and groan and be completely miserable. This guy wearing blue Crocs, camo shorts, a weird shirt, and a bright neon yellow beanie yells and berates this woman for hours. "Ugh, I'm going to miss work for this. Well, are we going to stay here all day?" And the grumpy silence this guy gave off when she was screaming in pain behind a curtain. I wasn't there for all of it, my own tests. I was in the ER from 9 a.m. till 7 p.m. I don't remember when they first left the room, but when they did, everyone around them made eye contact and referenced the guy. I feel sorry for the girl. I know my dad asked the security to keep an eye on him. Hope everything works out. Ugh. While it is not specifically stated the relationship between the neckbeard in this story and the girl who was in pain, I have to assume either romantic or familial, and while I also hate hospitals, if either my wife or my sister was rushed to the ER and I had, met them there, whether I had been the one to take them or I had followed them there they were in the ambulance, the last thing I would be doing is complaining, because I would be worried about them, because I'm a human being with emotions and empathy. The thing about Homo Neckbeardicus is that they do not possess the same levels of empathy capable that Homo sapien is capable of, and as such are more focused on themselves and how every situation relates to them, whether good or bad. That is all they can see, and if something is good for them, they will be elated, and if something is either bad or neutral for them, they will be annoyed or enraged. Alright guys, our next story comes from user First Ballot Matrix 20 and is entitled "My Brief Yet Funny and Icky Experience with a Real-Life Neckbeard in High School." Let me set the scene real quick. It's the 2010s, and I'm a sophomore in high school who has a crush on a girl in my class, Carly. I was getting pretty close to sealing the deal, as she pretty clearly liked me back. Anyways, we were talking in the last class of the day, and the yearly school talent show was that night. We're both almost 16 and can't drive. Here we go. Carly, my GF. Oh, come on, man. Spoilers. Me. Oh, thank you for clearing that up. Kyle, an acquaintance of mine. And Barry, the neckbeard. Carly, I wish I could make it tonight. I'm sure you're gonna be great out there. Me. Thanks. But I'll see you first thing Monday to show you the video. Bye. I was planning on a guitar cover of Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue. So I give Carly a side hug, and I take the bus home for the day. I'll never forget my seat on the bus next to a real character. Enter Barry, the neckbeard. And I do mean neckbeard. Obese, smelly, fedora, goatee, the whole 9 yards. And the fact that he could grow a full goatee as a sophomore in high school, I bet he was pretty proud of that, because I sure as hell couldn't. Barry. So I hear you're going to be in the talent show tonight too, Me. Yeah. I'm not expecting much, but I want to put myself out there. Barry. Well, what will your act be? Me. Well, I'm playing this classic rock song, and Barry. Of course you are. I would never listen to such filth. Yeah, he unironically said that. Me. Just trying to last the 7-minute bus ride. Well, what are you doing? Barry. I guess you'll find out tonight. Not even being able to feign interest, I just ignore him for the rest of the bus and get home to prepare for my big night. My wonderful mom and dad asked me to play the song through for them once over, and they said it sounded great. My mom had a strict work schedule, but my dad drove me there. Nice to hear about a well-adjusted high school kid, right? So many of these neckbeard stories feature unsupportive or downright abusive parents, and it's nice to know that some people come from decent homes, you know? I personally came from a strict but very loving household and have a great relationship with my parents today, and it's not just being like a mommy or daddy's boy thing. My wife loves my parents. But with all the stories I read on the internet, I was starting to think that a decent relationship with your family was just downright almost non-existent, and that I was a true rarity. So it's always nice to hear good stuff. I'll speed up the story. Thanks, OP. That counts for my rambling. I have a ton of jitters, but then it's my time to go on stage. I play through the song how I rehearsed it, and it sounds about as good as it can for a 16-year-old. Not very impressive, just competent. I took a cringe bow and walked off stage. The consensus from the crowd and judges seems good. Anyway, Barry was 2 acts after me, and oh boy, was it painful. He strolls out there with a dramatic swagger. He's wearing a fedora and bow tie. What does he lead with? "Hey, sound guy, can you turn down the stage lights? They're obnoxiously bright." Ugh. So he reads his cringe poem about unity and friendship, and has the most cringe neckbeard inflection. He then adds in a stanza about his crush, in which he calls her a female companion. Ick. I mean, I know high school poetry is super cringe. I once I won, but I tied. Like, I tied for first place in a poetry slam in high school. And I felt really bad about it because the guy I tied with had written this his own, like, super meaningful, like, poem. And, like, it's like, okay, cool. I've written this poem. I've read this poem. People hear me. People see me. I got an amazing score. He got a perfect score. And then I also got a perfect score by reciting the Pokemon theme song as William Shatner. Like William Shatner's Rocket Man, but it's the Pokemon theme song. And we both won. I mean, the prize was we each got like a box of like Ho-Hos or whatever from like Little Debbie. But I felt a little bad because his was like super meaningful and he kind of put himself out there. And I came out with a fucking gag poem of Pokemon as read by William Shatner. But I mean, it was a fun time. But at least we tied, because I would have felt really bad if I'd somehow beaten him with that. Because even though I want to be the very best, like no one ever was, you know, I think he definitely deserved to win more than I did. Sorry, back to the story. Now it's time to announce the top 3 placings for the show. When 3rd place wasn't me, I knew I had a chance. I got 2nd though. I wasn't mad, as this was my first public guitar showing, but as I walked to the back of the auditorium, something catches my eye. It was Carly. She'd been there the whole time via last-minute available ride. It was a hallmark moment as I had my first kiss then and there. She said I played great and she was proud of me. And now she was my first girlfriend. My dad saw what was going on and let us have our moment before taking me home. I asked her how the hell she got here after all that, and she said that was the only bad news. She'd hitched a ride with fucking Barry. And in that time, here's what all happened. She said what the ride was for, and that she liked me and wanted to go see me. He feigned agreement and used that ride to come on to her. He put his arm around her, even though she was uncomfortable, and tried to explain to her that he was the true alpha, and that she shouldn't be with me. Typical neckbeard shit. Mind you, he was almost 18, and she was not quite 16. She told him to stop, and that she wanted to be with me. Somehow she stuck out the ride and got here to the talent show. She basically tucked and rolled in the school parking lot and found a common acquaintance in my friend Kyle, who sat with her in the show. She sat with him and he offered to drive her home because he was also 17, and this went fine. I know this story is about OP's new girlfriend, and Barry the Neckbeard, but Kyle, true MVP of the story. This was not the end of Barry's advances. He tried to get with her for the rest of his time in high school, and constantly left embarrassingly bad poems on her Facebook timeline, as she was just too nice to block him. I was a pacifist at the time, so I never did anything to him either. Well, that's good, OP. The schools have that zero tolerance policy now. Last I hear, he's still upholding the stereotype to this day. TLDR, my high school crush wanted to see me at the talent show, so she took her only ride option in a creepy neckbeard who was also in the show. He was practically cucked, and his advances were all rejected. I mean, yeah, this story's slightly icky, but it is about high schoolers being cringy, so, you know, I'm not going to say boys will be boys. Thankfully, Barry knew enough to not try and press things further. I am also really glad that when I graduated high school, Facebook was brand new and was actually only available to people with college email addresses. Also, YouTube was in its infancy. Again, I graduated in 2006, which I believe was the same year YouTube came out. And so I did not go through high school in the Facebook and YouTube generation. Sure, we had like LiveJournal and MySpace, but it was very different. That was, people had their cringy blogs, whatever. You could delete all that shit. It wasn't quite the same as Facebook, having to have your entire high school experience through Facebook and YouTube being broadcast for the world to see. There was still that level of anonymity, and I feel like that was a very good thing. Barry probably saw himself as a sensitive alpha male and thought that just by, I write poetry. Chicks are into poetry. So if I write some poetry, they're going to be impressed that I write poetry and they're going to want my dick, which, it's a little less creepy when it's high schooler logic, because it's high schooler logic. I mean, we were all just a bundle of hormones back then. But glad things worked out for you, OP. And Barry, I'm sorry to hear you didn't get better. And Kyle, stay gold. Up next, we have a story from user LegalLolly2. Ew. And it's tagged Actual Thing a Neckbeard Called Me. Double ew. And this is the story of Pedobeard, and how the global situation, I don't know if YouTube lets me say that word or not, saved my life. Hello, r/Neckbeard Stories. First time poster here. I discovered this subreddit through Redx on YouTube, and I realized I had a Neckbeard story of my own years ago. Hey, I love Redx too, but maybe give Chimera Miniatures a try, LegalLolly2. Ugh, I hate saying that. Not the username, my own channel name. Ugh. This takes place a few years ago in Germany, from late 2019 to the lockdowns, with me going back home. So let me introduce you guys to the main cast of the story. LegalLolly, me, and yes, I was called that. Ew. 5-foot Chinese girl, bisexual, boyish looks. Trust me, this comes into play. I mean, literally all you had to say was 5-foot bisexual Chinese girl, and I knew exactly that you were neckbait. Pedobeard, the weeaboo who was denied his Chinese legal lolly. Obese, greasy neckbeard, probably mid-20s, with a creepy fixation on Asian women, especially Chinese. Now, I thought weeaboos were specifically Japanese culture, but I could be wrong. Okay, I just looked it up on Urban Dictionary, and apparently I am correct that it should pertain most people who believe Japanese culture is superior, but okay, whatever. Who am I to argue with a legal lolly? Because while legal could mean of age, it could also mean that she's a lawyer, so who am I to argue? So it all started when I was attending a uni in Germany, and seeing how I didn't have any friends back then while there, that is sad, OP, I feel bad for you already, I thought it was a good idea to meet up during events and get together. So the first time I met Pedobeard, it was at a party on campus, but with pizza and gaming. Long story short, we did hit it off. I thought he might be a decent guy, albeit a bit awkward. But it's all fine. We had some similar interests in shows like K-On!, Ghibli films, and Monogatari series. He was also talking about wanting to date Chinese women at that time, and me, being supportive, encouraged him to do so. He was talking about you, OP. He wanted to date you specifically. During the span of a couple months, we would find meeting spots all over campus, cafes, parks, and he would keep talking about his Chinese classes. We talked about Demon Slayer. That show is not mid, it's art. Agreed, I too also really love the Demon Slayer anime. I need to finish the Sword Village arc. And all. But more and more, he seemed to be talking about wanting big muscles. You see, Pedobeard was convinced he needed big muscles to attract Asian girls. Remember that he was obese, so when he mentioned going to the gym, I thought, good for him. Yeah, I'm going to the gym so this one Chinese girl named Victim, not real name, oh thank God, will actually like me. If I looked like a Giga Chad, I might have a chance with her. Did the German guy actually say Giga Chad? Is there a German word for Giga Chad? Okay, I just tried Google Translate, and apparently the German word for Giga Chad is just Giga Chad. That's disappointing. I did not know what a Giga Chad was at the time. Just an aside, in each Asian culture, the feminine men are generally more attractive. Just look at how popular K-pop members are among women in Korea, for example. Okay, funny tangent again. I used to work with a woman. Now I am well aware of the fandom of the K-pop boys, as both my wife and one of my very good friends gush over them all the time. And one of my coworkers, her daughter, was who had just recently come out as I can't remember if at this point she had decided she was a lesbian or she had realized she was fully pansexual. She had a couple. I never actually met the daughter. She went through a couple of different transitions in her sexuality in the time I worked with this woman, but she was gushing over the K-pop boys and was like, I don't really like boys, but these guys are so cute. And her mom apparently told her, said, sweetie, that's because they look like girls. Which, I mean, fair enough. Pretty's pretty, I guess. Well, not pretty. I am a flamboyant man myself, but I am straight. So you know what? Life takes all kinds. Okay, back to the story. So, naturally, I explained that to him, and he was dismissive and said something like, I think I know what Chinese girls like, and they want chiseled, muscular alpha males like me, not those effeminate beta males that live in their country. These guys look so gay. Hey, now's a great time to remind that if you want to support the channel, either join the Beta Tomorrow Society here on YouTube or the Beta Club over on Patreon. Also have a lot of lower tiers that also help. Alright, sorry, back to the story, I promise. But you see, the thing about going on tangents is, I'm just kidding. Keep in mind, this was way before Andrew Tate, so I guess Pedo Beard was worshipping whoever the guy for red pill douche nozzles was at the time. This dude has never set foot in China, or any Asian country for that matter, yet here he is talking like he knows everything about what Asian girls are into. The sheer arrogance! Look, I haven't talked to the majority of women on the planet, but I guarantee you fellas that the thing they want most is for you to gift them one of Mr. Sean's custom miniatures available on eBay or Mercari. I'm sorry for all the jokes and tangents, guys. I'm de-stressing. It's fine. You know, thank you for sticking with the channel. So, to avoid an all-out argument, I defaulted to saying she may already have a boyfriend back home or something, and he got a bit defensive about it. He was saying that she doesn't have a boyfriend, and was saying something along the lines of, but if she was bisexual, she would have sex with her female friends or cousins. I would accept that. I mean, friends, sure, but why were you cool with cousins? For some reason, my mind skipped the cousins part. Really? Because that's exactly what I focused on. Alright, different strokes. And I explained that I was bisexual, and that it doesn't mean I'm having sex with all my friends, nor are we promiscuous as hell. Again, he dismissed that as well. You're gonna see a pattern. He knows way more about China than someone who lived there all of her life, and knew more about bisexuality as a heterosexual than someone who came to terms with bisexuality at the age of 12. Thank God he didn't argue with the GSG9 guys. That would be a disaster. I don't know what that is. Let me look that up real quick. Apparently that's German Special Forces, but I don't know what that has to do with this story. If you know, please tell me in the comments. By the way, after this whole thing went down, I did look up what a GigaChat is, and all I can say was yuck. The last time we met, we were talking about anime again at a cafe, and he mentioned he liked some questionable anime, like Eromanga Sensei. For those who don't know, the show is just a mess of pedophilia and incest. It's just a gross show in general, and he mentioned other incestuous shows. Yeah, you gotta look out for that stuff in anime. I am aware of Eromanga Sensei and what it's about, and that's why I haven't watched it. One time, I bought my wife an anime figure from a store, and it was just in a case, had no idea what it was from, didn't have a box. Girl looked cute, and we looked it up, and it was from literally an anime where the girl in question, who we had the statue of, ends up marrying her brother at the end. So we sold that figure quick. You gotta be careful with anime, guys. If you like the lewd figures, that's fine, but you know, don't be buying figures of the people that marry/fuck their siblings. I asked him if he were joking, but he said, "No way, I'm serious." I was in shock. Then he said that he wants Chinese girls again. And I was getting this thought in my head, something along the lines of, this must be a sleazy sexpat type. I pressed on and asked, why do you want to date Chinese girls? Then he said the weirdest and most unsettling thing he said with no hesitation. I just want to breed beautiful happy daughters. And it has to be with a legal lolly. Kinda like you. I didn't know what Happa meant, but I guessed it meant half white, half Asian. You are close, OP. I also didn't know and also looked it up. It's a Hawaiian word simply meaning mixed heritage, no matter what that mixture is. And still, I was shocked, and he called me a legal lolly, as if I was the safe version of pedophilia? For the record, yes, I was flat, and with my short hair, I did look a bit boyish. And probably for his sick fantasies? I mean, legal lolly? I asked why. All he said was, just because. I know what just because actually means. Then I got a notification on WeChat, but I pretended it was a reminder on my calendar, so I said, I have to get my assignment done, lie. It was nice meeting you, It was anything but nice. The meetings became less frequent, and I noticed he was following me more. On my way off work, another Chinese girl was asking me if I was talking with Pedobeard, and I said yes. Then she told me Pedobeard was stalking her, and he followed her to her apartment, watching her from the street. She told me he did this to other Chinese girls too. Usually I don't take things at face value, but I had a feeling she was telling the truth. This Pedobeard guy was a creep and a pedophile. Anyway, fast forward to early 2020, the lockdowns happened. All my classes were online, and I had to move back to Sichuan. But it was worth it. I can't imagine what would happen if I spent another day with that creep. Oh, and I heard from witnesses that he failed his Chinese classes, and I overheard him in the halls one time trying to get angry at the same Chinese girl he was pining for because, say it with me, she had a boyfriend. That poor girl went from precious angel to horrid slut in a span of a few months. Just remember, if you want to date someone from a different culture or country, especially in East Asia, then go for it. There's always someone there for everybody. However, please, for the love of all that is good, don't be a creepy, sleazy sexpat like Pedobeard. That is not how to find love. I don't think he was trying to find love. I think he was trying to find some sweet, sweet Asian pussy. Which, I mean, again, nothing wrong with having a preference, but this guy just had a fetish. Alright guys, our last story today comes from user Nathan5660 and is entitled Neckbeard Encounter at the Nudist Beach, and it is entitled NSFW. For context, this happened 7 years ago at my local nudist beach. At the time, I was 19. I'm a guy, by the way. So, on the day in question, I was naked at the nudist beach, enjoying the sunshine and listening to music through a Bluetooth speaker. It was a Thursday, in the middle of the afternoon, so there weren't many other beach goers. The odd dog walker on lunch break every now and then, but that was mostly it. I was laying in the sun, wiggling my feet to the music, when I hear footsteps coming down the big stone steps behind me. I ignore people when they come down and only pay attention to them if they want me to cover up while they walk past, for example. This tubby, beardy man, who must have been about 50, comes into my view, staring out at the sea. He turns around and sees me naked in the sunshine. I smile at him, friendly like that, and he smiles back and nods his head. He wanders off to another part of the beach, and I think nothing else of it. Until about an hour later or so, he comes back from wherever he disappeared to, but now he's naked. Okay, doesn't bother me in the slightest, but he comes right up to me, standing in front of me, and says, "Hey, do you come here often?" Me, no, not really. This is only the third time I've been here. Neckbeard, you should come here more often. It's good to see young people here. Me, feeling a little uncomfortable, but yeah, I guess it's not something younger folks are interested in normally. OP, this guy is the reason younger people aren't interested in this normally. Neckbeard, you're welcome to join me sometimes if you want. I like coming here too. Proceeds to sit right next to me and puts a hand on my leg. Me, don't do that, please. Neckbeard, you'll get used to it. Me, stands up straight away, gathers my stuff together with the intention of going to another part of the beach away from him. Neckbeard tries to follow me. Where are you going? Me, I'm going over there. You are going to leave me alone, thank you. Neckbeard, you're funny and you're cute. I like cute, funny boys. You would look cuter if you shaved your body, though. Me, okay, we're done here. You can't talk to people like that. If you carry on, you will be arrested. Go away before I make the call myself. Neckbeard, wow, that's rude. I was being nice to you, and this is how you respond? You won't find anyone with an attitude like that. Staggers to his feet and walks away to the other side of the beach, but still within my view. Me, sits back down, keeping my phone as close to me as possible. I'm not going to let this creep ruin my afternoon, so I'm not going to leave. He can leave, not me. Neckbeard, still naked, waddling back over to me. Normally, naked people go over this side of the beach away from the main path. It's more private. Would you like me to show you? Me, no thanks. I'd like for you to leave me alone, please. Neckbeard, Don't be shy. You have a wonderful body. A very cute little penis with an adorable foreskin and me interrupts him loudly. What the fuck is wrong with you? Get away from me. I begin throwing handfuls of sand at him while screaming as loud as I can to go away. He does. He puts his clothes on and walks off up the path while I have a panic attack in the sand. I never saw that guy again anywhere near the beach, or anywhere else for that matter. He's probably in jail by now, behaving like that. I haven't been back to that beach properly for a long time now due to this. It's hit my confidence like a freight train, and I struggle with that all the time. You know, we always talk about neckbeards and their maladying, but we often don't talk about how neckbeards can also be of any sexuality and can just as easily, my boy. This is the kind of guy, though, that would not obey the no-touching rule at a strip club. He apparently thinks nudity is an invite, and it's like, look, man, just because someone's naked doesn't mean they're naked for you. And if people choose to be naked out in public, you can look, but do not touch unless invited to do so. But who knows? Maybe this guy used to just troll the nude beaches looking for stranger dick, and up until this point it had worked out for him. I don't know how it could have, but this guy was pretty bold and brazen. I agree with you, OP. There's a very good chance this guy ended up getting arrested. And that's going to be the video today, guys. If you enjoyed the stories today, please be sure to comment, please be sure to like, please be sure to subscribe if you have not done so already. If you'd like to support the channel, again, we do have YouTube channel memberships, we do have a Patreon, links can be found in the description. And of course, one of the best and easiest ways to support is just go to my eBay or my Mercari and make a purchase of a mini. Also, I believe we still have 1 or 2 giveaways going on from last week's and this week's videos, so check those out. Enter to win. I believe currently, I could be wrong, we are currently giving away both a Justice League China Flash miniature as well as a Mercury, both of which are from the Spicy Hero Clicks line that I make. Thank you so much for your continued support of the channel and for helping us get to the 1,000 subscribers. That is our goal this year. And until next time, everybody, I'm Mr. Sean. This is Chimera Miniatures, and I sincerely hope that you find the bisexual Asian girlfriend of your dreams, and that you alpha great day, and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye.